Shut up.
Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
I'm Greg Lloyd. Amanda and I thank you for joining us for this first edition of WGXA News live on YouTube at 5:30. Breaking news just into the newsroom. Mary Persons High School was sent into lockdown this afternoon after a threat call that luckily turned out to be a sick prank.
The Monroe County Sheriff's Office reports that an unknown male called 911 just before 3:45 this afternoon and said he was going to enter the school and begin shooting. Deputies quickly responded as multiple school locations were placed on lockdown. Deputies were unable to locate anyone with a gun and later determined that the call was a prank. All lockdowns have been lifted.
Now to our top story tonight. People living in Macon's Green Meadows townhomes on Log Cabin Drive, they're on edge. They say crime is too common where they live.
This follows a fatal shooting last week. Deputies say a man shot and killed a woman after they got into a fight. He is still on the run tonight. Brianna Cook is taking a deep look into the crime's trends there and joins us live now. Brianna?
Greg and Amanda, people who live there are speaking out and pleading for something to be done about the crime.
I'm afraid to be here. I'm afraid to stay here.
People who live here at Green Meadows townhouses in Macon are living in fear. They blame crime. WGXA News analyzed over 3 years and 24 pages worth of calls to 911. There has been 1,207 calls to 911 from Green Meadows since January 1st, 2020. 130 of those calls have been for shootings, shots fired, or shot spotted, with 10 of those calls just this year. The most recent, just last Friday, deputies say 28-year-old Kanzia Owens was shot to death. The man they say shot her, 23-year-old Trayvon Walker, is still on the run. Alicia Clopton, Green Meadows resident, says crime is a daily problem.
Every day it's a shooting, it's a something, y'all scared to come out here. Hey, but we gotta live here. We gotta live here with our children. We got to be here with our kids.
According to the coroner's office, deputies and first responders arrived in less than 10 minutes to the recent shooting. But Clopton says that was not the case.
She started calling the police about 1 o'clock. The police didn't get here till 3:45 last night. That's like 2 hours and 45 minutes later. By the time she got here, the police was standing at her door and the boy shot her. The boy literally just shot her. It took the police too long to get here.
Owens was conscious and suffering from multiple gunshot wounds when medics arrived. She later died at the hospital. 911 call records show Friday's call came in at 3:47 a.m. There were no other calls on the log for that date. Clopton says a delayed response from the Bibb County Sheriff's Office is a normal occurrence here.
The response time for calling the officers right here in Green Meadows is not it. It's 2 to 3 hour wait time. If the police would have came on when they supposed to came on, that girl wouldn't be dead.
With having experienced the late response herself, Clopton pleads for it to be corrected.
I done called the police myself and the police ain't came. Somebody got to do something about the response time to Green Meadows.
We asked the Bibb County Sheriff's Office for a response to her allegations, and we also reached out to the mayor's office if they are concerned about the crime that happens in that area. We'll be sure to update our web story with their responses as soon as we get them. We did reach out to the property management, and they declined to make a statement and kicked us off their property. Reporting live in Macon, Brianna Cook, WGXA News.
Thank you so much, Brianna. A man is left fighting for his life in the hospital after he was shot Sunday night in Macon. Bibb deputies were called to the intersection of Bloomfield and Chambers Road around 8:30 last night, where they found the man shot. He's currently in critical but stable condition. Deputies are still investigating who pulled the trigger and why the shooting happened.
Meanwhile, deputies are still looking for who's responsible for shooting a person Friday on Fairway Drive in Macon. So far, we know that one person did suffer non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators are still working to find out what led to that incident.
Turning now to Fort Valley, where police are investigating a Saturday night shooting. Officers say a man was injured when someone opened fire at a party on East Main Street as officers were shutting it down. No one else was hurt, but the shooter is on the loose.
Back in Macon, the roads continue to be deadly. Bibb County deputies say 82-year-old Janet Towles was crossing the road at Shirling Drive and Pine Hill Drive when she was shot early Sunday morning. They say she was pronounced dead at the accident scene. That investigation into Towles' death is ongoing.
Federal officials are now searching for a motive in the mass shooting at a Texas mall, which left multiple people dead, including 2 children.
According to Army officials, the suspected gunman was kicked out of basic training. Casey Stegall has more.
A makeshift memorial quickly growing outside the Allen Premium Outlets in Texas, where a gunman opened fire over the weekend, killing multiple people and injuring several others. On Monday, mourners braved the rain to pay their respects.
We're just present with people. We listen to them. We let them pet the dogs, and it's really that simple.
Among the victims, a 20-year-old man who family members say served as a security guard at the mall, and a 27-year-old woman from India who was working in the U.S. as a project engineer. Police say the 33-year-old suspect was wearing tactical gear before he was shot and killed by an officer. Law enforcement is now reportedly looking into his possible ties to white supremacist groups by combing through his social media accounts. State and local officials, meantime, are praising police who responded to the scene within minutes, likely saving many more lives.
That's what we need, is better training for our law enforcement to make sure that they can react.
The tragedy also reigniting calls for gun reform. On Monday, hundreds of people protested inside the Texas Capitol, calling on lawmakers to do more to stop these mass shootings.
It's happened, and it keeps happening over and over again, while our lawmakers do nothing.
A family assistance center is now open to provide resources to anyone who needs them. That is the latest from Allen, Texas. Casey Stegall, Fox News.
We're turning our attention to weather now. And you know, Amanda, I just want to take a moment to say, we have heard Ryan Mirando say over and over again today how hot it is. I think that's how we feel complaining when we complain about the cold, you know.
Yeah, I think
rubs it in
so.
our
Where
face.
like we kind of like for like a moment we'll just roll our eyes.
Yeah, no
Subtly,
sympathy
subtly.
here at all for that
Well,
fella.
it's just he tells us to wear sunscreen 5 times a day. Like,
Yes.
why do we need to wear so much sunscreen?
There's
Like,
no
are you wearing
slather it
sunscreen,
on.
Ryan?
I am wearing sunscreen right now. I wear it every day before I come to work, and you guys get a little taste of your own medicine with getting some of the complaining about the weather, and it does feel like summer out there. We even got a few afternoon storms. Still tracking this cell right now in Washington County. A few lightning strikes, some heavy downpours just about to move over Sandersville. This is moving southeast, so Davisboro, Riddleville about to get hit with some of this rain as well as the cell continues to push south and eastward. But not everyone's seeing the rain. A live lookout over Mercer University with our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast Network. Don't have any rain here, but it's definitely still warm. Temperature 88 degrees thanks to our very warm westerly wind at 16 miles per hour. So it is a little breezy out there, but it's also very humid. Dew points, the measure of moisture in the atmosphere, mostly into the 60s. A few of us with dew points in the 70s. That's just that air that you can wear, the sticky. It's not the oppressive sweltering heat, but it definitely, the humidity is on the uptick, and it's definitely noticeable when you step outside. For the rest of tonight, we'll have a shower or two around, otherwise partly cloudy, 86 degrees at 7 o'clock, 74 by 10. Temperatures will cool down into the mid 60s through the overnight hours, and summer is just getting started as we get through this week. I'll tell you everything you need to know coming up in your full forecast, guys.
Going to be a long time before it gets cold, Ryan. All right. Now's a great time to download that WGXA weather app. Ryan is back in less than 20 minutes, and he'll have your 10-day forecast.
And Hancock County was rattled early this morning with a 2.5 magnitude earthquake. The United States Geological Survey says the quake hit around 2:30 a.m. and was just under 3 miles below the Earth's surface. The exact epicenter was just off Old Sparta Road near James Hunt Jr. Avenue. They say an earthquake of this size may cause minor shaking, but more often is noticed as a low rumble similar to thunder.
Maybe you've noticed some good news for you, drivers here in Middle Georgia. Prices are dropping for gas over 12 cents from last week. The average price for a gallon of gas right now sits around $3.12 a gallon. That's according to GasBuddy.com, who also shows a drop of 21 cents a gallon from this time in April. This time last year, a gallon of gas would have run you almost $3.80.
And GDOT is continuing construction on the I-16, I-75 interchange improvement project this week. Tomorrow and Wednesday night, there will be a single lane closure on I-16 eastbound between the interchange and Spring Street from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
And construction is underway for a new stop for Maconites to get their caffeine fix. 7 Brew drive-through coffee is coming to Bass Road across from McDonald's and Lullwater Bass Apartments. Developers say the business will have 2 drive-through lanes. It will not be an eat-in restaurant. They expect to employ 6 to 8 people, and they would operate Sunday through Thursday, 5:30 in the morning, 10 at night. And on Fridays and Saturdays, they would run until 11 o'clock at night.
A former hotel will soon see a transformation into an apartment complex. Today, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to approve the proposal to convert the old hotel behind Wendy's on Riverside Drive into 95 new one-bedroom apartment units. The proposal faced an uphill battle as P&Z staff expressed concerns that the area poses problems with the many businesses and bright lights and a lack of sidewalks.
And what we are doing that converting them to studio and one-bedroom apartment, which is for workforce housing, making it affordable, keeping it below $1,000 rent, and it includes all the utilities.
The builders expect to be done with the renovation by this fall.
Also, a surprising turn of events for the plans for a multi-million-dollar development project today. They were withdrawn. The Macon Housing Authority was proposing a 60-unit apartment complex with a community center where the old Bibb Mill used to be located. The plans would have provided affordable housing for people whose income ranges from 30 to 80% of the area's median income. Now, they withdrew their proposal from the Planning and Zoning Commission this afternoon, citing tax credit requirement issues. This new update means the project will be delayed for at least another year.
At least 8 so-called fake electors have been granted immunity in the Georgia investigation into efforts by Trump and his allies to overturn the state's 2020 election results. According to a court filing, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis had previously notified all 16 GOP fake electors in Georgia that they were targets in her investigation. Now, last month, Phyllis offered immunity deals to several of the Republicans who served as pro-Trump electors, and they accepted. Other Republicans who served as pro-Trump electors could reportedly still face legal exposure in Willis's investigation. Willis recently said she has plans to make an announcement on possible charges against Trump or his allies between July and September.
Governor Kemp makes the state's crackdown on prosecutors official, signing into law a bill creating an oversight commission with the power to remove local prosecutors. Republicans characterize it as a way to hold district attorneys and solicitor generals accountable. Democrats say the 8-member commission could misuse its authority to punish or remove local prosecutors unnecessarily. Those Democrats include Fulton County's Fani Willis, leading that investigation into the Trump and his allies.
California is now one step closer to enacting the first statewide reparations program for African Americans.
Our Kayla Gaskins joins us now from Washington with why some critics are pushing back.
Placing a dollar amount on suffering is a daunting task.
We cannot forget or ignore the fact that we stole people from their native land.
Over the weekend, California's Reparations Task Force approved a proposal to give each Black resident $1.2 million to right historic wrongs. But activists say it's nowhere near enough.
So the equivocal number from the 1860s for 40 acres today is $200 million for each and every African American.
It's unclear how the state will pay for it. Economists predict the approved proposal of $1.2 million will cost $800 billion, nearly 3 times California's annual budget.
There is a $20 billion deficit, and there's a $1.5 trillion, T as in Tyrannosaurus, $1.5 trillion unfunded pension liability. From where is the money going to come? They're going to have to tax people.
On the other side of the U.S., Baltimore City exploring the idea of using additional tax revenue from legalizing marijuana to benefit low-income residents. City leaders see this as a form of reparations.
It would generate about $20 million for the city of Baltimore for the specific purpose of creating equity and reparations, which is what reparations are. It's creating an equitable response to a wrong.
Critics argue these reparations don't make sense.
Now, reparations is the extraction of money from people who were never slave owners to be given to people who were never slaves.
The Biden administration is considering adding a question to the U.S. Census asking Black Americans if their ancestors were enslaved. Some experts believe this is to gauge who would be eligible for reparations should the federal government ever propose a plan. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gabb.
And that brings us to our question of the day. Do you support reparations for the descendants of enslaved people? Yes or no? Let us know what you think on our website, WGXA.tv.
Some familiar faces will appear on Family Feud tonight.
That's right, Amanda. Ahead of tonight's broadcast, we met up with the Bentley sisters of Reynolds to ask them about the experience. No question about it. The Bentley sisters of Reynolds sparkle with personality.
And it's your favorite Bentley family!
And it's a trait producers of Family Feud could easily see.
I initially applied as a joke and I submitted the application, and then I remember sending them a text message and I was like, hey, I just applied for Family Feud. They may call us, so be ready.
A few months and a Zoom audition later, the ladies were on set ready to compete.
So yes, we are 5 of us who make the show. Of course, it can only be 5. We do have 2 other sisters, Tia and Lisa. They weren't able to be on the show, but hi guys!
And one of the highlights of the visit, meeting host Steve Harvey.
Family Feud was awesome. We really enjoyed Steve. He definitely became our uncle. Uncle Steve.
During the different breaks, he was actually giving us a lot of gems, like life gems, financial advice as far as like investing while you're young, just a lot of good advice. We were able to take a lot away from the experience.
Definitely.
A lot of motivating.
Yeah.
He's wonderful with that. And after the show, I have to say that I follow him a lot more.
The Bentley sisters, who helped their mother run Sisters Kitchen, say watching and playing the game at home is easy, but the real experience, well, that's a different ball game.
So not knowing what the question is going to be, and you have to, off the top of your head, think about it. Now, that's in my opinion.
Yeah, fast thinking.
Yeah, and also the audience being there. Yes. You're in front of all these people, bright lights, you're hot.
The timers, everything made me nervous.
You can't help but love the Bentley sisters, Katie, Amanda.
Yes,
from that
oh my
clip.
God, I actually want to be friends with them. Like,
Me
they're so
too.
cute, and
I
there's
wanna
like
hang out
5
with
of
them.
them, and their outfits. Did you see the matching?
Yes.
Yellow and blue, and then the orange.
And
I'm
then
like,
the
I'm here
t-shirt for
this,
Sisters
girls.
Kitchen. We love it. Now, we do want to remind you, though, if you want to see them on Family Feud, the only place you'll do it is tonight at 6:30 on Fox 24.
And some of Macon-Bibb County's finest were recognized for their dedication to the community with a promotion. 8 new lieutenants and 7 new sergeants were pinned today during the ceremony where they swore into their new positions. In their new roles, sergeants will have oversight of the privates and lieutenants will be in charge of a station when a captain is not there.
We were so fortunate to be able to promote a lot of our officers to lieutenant and to the sergeant rank. They went through the testing process over the last few months, and due to the results that came back, we were finally able to get them in and get them vetted, and they went through an interview process, and we were able to fill those positions within our department.
The opportunity for the promotions and more leadership opportunities came from the fire department's change to a new shift schedule that was introduced by Chief Edwards.
Well,
This week is going to feel like the middle of summer, where we start with a lot of sunshine in the morning, but by the afternoon, we get those random pop-up storms, lightning and thunder, and heavy downpours. And we will have this case for the rest of tonight, and especially throughout the day tomorrow. It's not going to be happening all day with the rain. Throughout the day tomorrow and Wednesday morning, we can get some isolated showers or storms. For the rest of the work week, Thursday, Friday, into the Mother's Day weekend, we will be dry, but we could get a few more storms starting to pop up as we get towards about a week from today. But it really did feel like summer out there, and we do have some pop-up storms that I'm still tracking. The heaviest one right now with a few strikes of lightning is in towards Washington County, right near Sandersville. This storm is moving southeast. Now Davisboro getting hit with some of the heaviest downpours right now, right along 236, moving southeast. Riddleville also seeing some of that rain that's going to continue to push south and east. But everyone is really feeling the heat out there. Macon is right now, temperature-wise, 88 degrees, 84 in Forsyth, 84 in Edenton, 88 in McRae, and 86 degrees in Soperton. And not only is it hot, the dew points, the measure of moisture in the atmosphere, is also on the uptick. We're mostly into the 60s out there right now. A few of us in the 70s. That's really that air you can wear, just the sticky feeling. It's not the sweltering humidity like we get into the summer with the mid 70s, but it's definitely noticeable just how humid it is out there. And that's going to be the case for the rest of tonight. Partly cloudy. We still could have a shower or two around as the sun begins to set. 65 degrees, a very mild overnight low as we're heading into Tuesday morning. And as we get throughout the day tomorrow, we have this high pressure heat bump in place, giving us a very warm westerly wind. So tomorrow, a very hot day. On Wednesday, though, we get a backdoor cold front that could give us a few showers in the morning, but it has a lot less humidity behind the front. Not a lot of cold air, but it's going to be a lot more milder behind that front for Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow, though, the summer sizzle is on, forecasting a high of 91 degrees, the first one of 2023, which would also make it the warmest day so far this year. It is rather average that we get our first 90-degree day in the first week of May as well. So it's not abnormal that we're seeing this heat this early before summertime. So in your 10-day forecast tomorrow, we got that summer sizzle on, the high 91 degrees. We could have a few afternoon storms or two, but most of the day will be dry. On Wednesday, we get the backdoor cold front, maybe a shower or two in the morning, but it's less humid behind it. Still warm though, 85 degrees. And then the dry pattern really sets up for the rest of the work week. Thursday, 86 degrees, mostly sunny. Friday, mostly the same, mostly sunny, 88 degrees. And then we're heading into Mother's Day weekend. We begin to warm back up. Saturday, a lot of sunshine, 90 degrees. And look at this for Mother's Day for the moms. It's going to be hot out there, 94 degrees for the high. That's 10 degrees above average. Probably also will be rather humid. And then heading into work back next week, still warm, 92 degrees, partly cloudy before rain chances arrive for next Tuesday and Wednesday. Lastly, here's your Harrison's Body Shop Fish and Game forecast. Peaks at 5:40 a.m. and 11:40 p.m.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen, and today I'm here at the Animal Rescue Foundation in Baldwin County over here in Milledgeville, and I'm joined again with Aline, and guess who we are showcasing today?
Hey, this is Charlie. He's about 10 months old. He's a lab mix. We don't expect him to get much bigger than this. He is fully vetted. He's a little nervous, as you can see, but he is a super sweet dog, and he's great with other dogs, and we haven't seen any issues with cats either.
And you said Charlie also has a sister named Sadie, is that
He
correct?
does, and she's a little freaked out by the camera, so we couldn't get her, but she is a black lab mix almost identical to him.
All right, so there you go. We got Charlie, we got Sadie, who are siblings. If you'd like to adopt either one or both of those, Aline, how would they go about doing that?
So they're going to go to our How to Adopt page. Our website, Animal Rescue Foundation, and click on the How to Adopt tab. And down on that page is our application, and we'll be in touch once you fill it out.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. Let's find Charlie, let's find Sadie, and they got several other dogs here. Let's find them a good home today. Thank you so much, Aline.
Thank you.
An Australian woman survived 5 days in the wild with just a bottle of wine and some lollipops. A rescue helicopter spotted the woman last Thursday and directed police to her. She said while on vacation, she made a wrong turn and ended up at a dead end. Then, while trying to turn around, her car got stuck in the mud, and there was no cell phone service. She was only planning a short trip, so she only had a few snacks with her and a bottle of wine she had bought for her mother. She doesn't usually drink alcohol, police say. The woman was extremely relieved to see them. She was treated at a local hospital for dehydration. Now, boys, I need to know.
All right, lay it on us.
You get stuck 5 days and you only have wine and lollipops to choose from, but you can only have one. Which one would you choose? Greg, I think I know your answer.
You think, yeah, I would choose wine because I would want it to make me sleepy and I would want to sleep through most of that ordeal. That's what comes to mind.
Okay.
I would
Ryan.
never choose wine, even from a health perspective, because wine is just going to dehydrate you more. I don't
But
even drink
dude,
anyway.
you are stuck out
But
in the
if
middle
you're
of
stuck out in
nowhere
the
and you
middle
don't know
of
if
nowhere-
someone's
So
coming.
you're just gonna survive off of lollipops for
Lollipops
however many
only.
days.
If I have to drink the wine, maybe I would, but I feel like that's
You only
like
get
not
one.
hydrating.
Don't get greedy. You only get
I
one.
only get one. But it's not, that would, I feel like that would further dehydrate you.
And
drink
who's
the
this my
alcohol.
impression of? But from a health perspective, just lollipops are sugar.
Trying to survive. Probably a better chance of surviving on
So
lollipops.
he
than wine.
prefers the sugar and lollipops.
That's
True.
what he prefers. We want to thank you for joining us for this inaugural YouTube newscast at 5:30 on WGXA.